Folks, what the crap's going on? Welcome to the Sword of Torgald. I'm going to be playing another multiplayer battle. This one was from my last stream as well, so this is an AI ally battle. Once again, I had to come up with a really memey combination here. Like, I wanted to come up with something that was just an affront to everything from the lore. And so I've teamed up Boris Todbringer with Kazrak. So Boris is going to be leading Kazrak. Suck on that, lore. Yeah, see, that's what lore gets whenever it comes across me. So I've got Kazrak, just kind of some Goreherd infantry, a couple Jabber Slides, Gorebull. I've got a Brace Shaman on a chariot. I brought some Tuskgore chariots. Knowing I was up against Dawi, I wanted to have some chariots, and the Dawi have some Brimstone guns. Balthasar is the one supporting the Dawi, so this is what my opponent, Tuso Forever, he's controlling Balthasar, and I am controlling Boris. All the rest of this is an AI fight. You can see us getting hit with a final transmutation here. I think the objective there was to get damage out onto the Jabber Slides, and it did a lot of damage to the rest of my units as well as the bombs here. Look at that, 19 kills from bombs. So I'm going to push the Gyro Bomber away from my infantry. I don't want it dropping all its bombs because Balthasar didn't want to fight me. This actually pulls Balthasar over, which is a little bit premature, so I'm more than happy to fight Balthasar, and Balthasar's like, alright, changed my mind. Not so much. Look at this, my Brace Shaman is like sitting here trying to fight the gyrocopters. These are the kind of decisions the AI makes. And see, CA tells us that the very hard AI really needs those buffs. You know, it needs those unit buffs to make it better for the player. Or you could make it to where a Brace Shaman with no missile weapons isn't stupid enough to sit here beneath gyrocopters thinking that he could fight them, and rather go use his magic to harm the rest of the units. So there's definitely ways. Look at that, dropping bombs. It's getting some kills. Anyway, yeah, there's definitely ways that you can get the AI to perform better. Look at this. I gave my Shaman Pit of Shades because I was hoping he would, be able to use it. And sure enough, he dropped it right on top of an Iron Breaker. So that was actually a very nice job by my my Brace Shaman. And you can see the Chariot units here got into a bunch of Slayers. Not the best for me, but I'm hoping the AI will keep Chariots cheesing. I pushed through, the Jabber Slides come in, and they end up doing a real heck of a job here. Some of these dwarves got terrified, and the Jabber Slides are going to be really decent against armor and infantry. They are up against Ungram and Felix, and remember that Felix is going to be helping Ungram to heal, but the double Jabber Slides just go straight for Ungram. Remember, I'm not controlling them, so the AI just goes all out for Ungram with the Jabber Slides. And so Ungram's going to get a chance to get a Jabber Slide kiss here. You know how they like to stick their tongue out. As Regina pointed out in the stream while we were fighting this battle, that she didn't think Jabber Slides were very into consent. And I think she's probably correct. Anyway, you can see here some gyros got stuck on my lord. So Boris is going to be wrecking some gyrocopters, trying to do damage to them. My infantry is doing well. And the Dwarf Infantry is doing very poorly at the moment, which is fortunate for me. And then Balthasar landed, but he got terrified by the Jabber Slides. He's not immune to psychology. And as I saw him get terrified, I started chasing him immediately with Boris. And then I was able to catch him and put another hit on him when he regrouped. And now I should be able to get rid of Balthasar, which is going to be a big win for me. You can see the Jabber Slide and Gorebull still going after Ungram. Ungram has now been separated from Felix, so I don't believe he'll be healing. But between the Gorebull and the Jabber Slide, it'll be a little too much for Ungram to handle. See that Jabber Slide there giving him a friendly lick. There goes Ungram, gets chopped by Gorebull. I imagine he's going down any moment here. Yep, there he goes. So Ungram is out, and at this point the victory is looking assured for me. So this particular battle went pretty well for me. The Jabber Slides, and even though my unholy alliance there between Boris and Kazrak was definitely an affront to all things lore. And let's see how Boris did. He didn't even do that much. Honestly, Kazrak's army did the better part of the work here. My Jabber Slides, it was a short battle, so they had pretty decent value, and so did this Chariot, and the Brace Shaman did really well. He must have gotten a couple of pits off. I know he got the one right on top of the Iron Breakers. Gorebull was doing well. Kazrak actually got himself killed. He did very little. Ungram did get you know, some decent value because he was chopping those big targets. He was just overmatched was all there was to it. He was doing well, all things considered, but he was overmatched. The Iron Breaker, I think, is where we hit that really good Pit of Shades. Ended up doing well there. I'm surprised that Felix got that much value because he's actually probably one of the worst legendary heroes just in terms of the damage that he can get done. Anyway, so that one was relatively quick and it went well for me. Let's go take a look at the flip side when my picks may not have gone so well for me. Alright, so this was a different battle. I was playing on Troll Country with XMT Way, and remember that XMT Way is the one who sent me the first replay of this game format where you're doing the AI allies, and it was from RTK Human Boys Tournament. I will have a link to a Discord in the description for RTK Human Boys Tournament if you're interested in playing this game style. In a tournament, he was hosting it, and he was kind enough to share that, so feel free to check it out if it's something you're interested in. I wanted to do another like lore-affronting matchup here, even though I knew I was going to be in a tough fight against Way because he knows how to play this. So I brought Manfred leading Khalida. Now, Khalida is going to be a pretty useless lord to bring in this format, but I didn't really care. I brought a bunch of Tomb Guard. I've even got the Kepler Tomb Guard. I've got Skeleton Spears. I was going up against Lewin as the leader, and he's being supported by Franz. Franz is the AI army here too. And much like in the video he sent me, Way is going to be making heavy use of Outriders and Outriders with grenade launchers, which honestly is a pretty solid pick because when someone does what I've done here and picks a lot of infantry, there's a very decent possibility these Outriders with grenade launchers will be able to get their value because the AI is pretty good at halting them from getting into combat, and it doesn't take a whole lot of shooting for the grenade launchers to do pretty tremendous damage to infantry. Now, I did have a couple of Tomb Princes supporting Khalida, hoping to provide some extra melee oomph because Khalida's on a chariot. With Manfred, I'm trying to avoid Lewin and Franz, and so I dived down on the ground here, hoping that I'd be able to have some infantry units help support me, and indeed that happens. But at the same time, I can't really afford these grind-out fights. Franz is causing big damage on me. Or sorry, Boris, not Franz. Boris is causing big damage on me, and I need to be able to heal, so I am attempting to heal. And I've got a Tomb Prince supporting, so now we can kind of turn that fight against Boris a little. I probably should have just stayed there and tried to kill him, keep him blocked in, but I decided to fly off, and unfortunately for me, Boris is going to get freed up from this fight by his Empire Knights. So again, maybe should have stayed there and just taken that fight because I had Horse Archer support and pretty good infantry support. But now, look at this. The Outriders and the nade launchers have wheeled up, and this is a big infantry blob. And now I've just fed them a bunch of kills. Look how quickly these grenade launchers got 108 kills and just completely eliminated a Tomb Guard and a Kepler Tomb Guard there. So that is not good. Like, I can't afford to take losses like that, but I am taking losses like that. See, this Outrider with grenade launcher. I was hoping my Skeleton Horse Archers would target his cavalry. I knew he was going to bring this cavalry, and I brought 4 Skeleton Horse Archers, thinking, all right, hopefully they'll target the other cavalry, and they just don't. And so, unfortunately for me, my Skeleton Horse Archers over here, they did kind of target this unit for a brief moment. Again, I also brought Carrion, thinking hopefully they would go after these fast movers, but they just didn't. And so at this point, I'm getting mulched pretty well by Way, because I've got to take care of 2 pretty powerful flying lords, and I am still dealing with all these Outriders and stuff that aren't dead, unfortunately. I do have the Tomb Princes, but they're not always fighting side by side with me. I have 1 Tomb Guard here left, and another one over here. You can see the Kepler Tomb Guard still managing to cling to life, amazingly, but probably not for long. So I'm kind of out of ideas. I used a breath attack here to do some damage to the grenade launchers. Maybe should have focused on these grenade launchers a little earlier, but of course I have to be careful because I could get jumped by Boris and Lewin. Lewin right now is working on trying to get rid of my Tomb Princes, and I had a Casket of Souls parked here in the back, which, again, I brought the Casket hoping it would be shooting at these targets all throughout the battle. Unfortunately, it's about to go down. It did get almost a chevron worth of damage, but it's starting to look worse and worse for me at this point as all of my infantry is essentially gone. And I'm just going to have to fight. Like, there's nothing left for me to do as Manfred. Just going to have to get in here and fight. I'm going to try and kill this Jade Wizard. And that does actually cause some of these grenade launcher cavalry to charge in. Just odd. I guess that's an AI behavior when you hit the ground near them. Sometimes they charge in, trying to pin you there. You know, maybe I'll have to tinker with that in the future. Maybe there's a way you can dive something and then cause these units to sacrifice themselves, kind of like that. Obviously, it's too late in this battle, but it's an interesting learning to see how the AI behaved there. I'm trying to use some last Invocation to Heck to do all the damage I can do with Manfred, but the writing is on the wall here, folks, and I suffer a pretty good defeat here to XMT Wei, and again, not entirely surprised. He's been playing in the tournament, has a better idea what to do. I did see his video where he used a very similar army here, and just as in the video, it appears Outriders with grenade launchers are a pretty capable pick against anybody that you expect to bring some infantry. You'll notice that Wei spent way less money on infantry, knowing that the AI is probably just going to botch them anyway. And he spent way more money on cavalry, knowing that the AI can actually control all these individual cavalry units, which is usually a weakness for the player. And I don't know if that's his exact line of thinking, but I think it works out well, because I think the AI will do a better job with all these cavalry and missile cavalry than a player would, especially considering that there's an AI on the other side, right? And that the AI is just going to willy-nilly charge infantry forward, and if they do, they're going to get bombed eventually. So I think it was pretty well done. So Khalida did terrible. My Casket of Souls did meh. And then none of my infantry were able to accomplish anything. One of my Tomb Princes did a little bit of damage. Outside of that, all the damage came from me with Manfred, and it wasn't near enough. I only had 2280 value, and Manfred was almost 4,000 cost here, so nowhere near what I needed. Lewin did very well, 2754, and even AI-controlled Boris basically kept up with me. So a well-picked army and a fun battle. So a lot of our battles during the night were kind of like this. I kept picking memeish combinations like Manfred and Khalida there just to make her angry because she hates vampires. What do you all think of those memeish combinations, by the way, too? I thought they were pretty good. I thought they were pretty lore-breaking, which was the object. Anyway, we're going to try some more of these battles this next week, except we're going to do it in a 2v2 format. So it'll be 2 players on both sides, each with their own AI army to support. So technically it'll be a 4v4 battle, but each of the 2 players on each side will only have a Lord, and then they'll have 2 AI-controlled armies. So we figured that might be kind of fun to make it larger. We're going to try that this next week. Feel free to join me. I'll have my streams scheduled probably on Sunday, so you can see on my channel when we're going to be doing that. So come back and check it out. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you soon.